What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. It is the LGRN review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. I hope you're excited because I sure am. I'm excited about to talk about this film, not only with myself, but with my good friends, and I would almost say my better rivals. You see what I did there? You see what I did there?
Cross promotion.
But I am here with my good friends. On my right, the heart and soul of LGRN. That is Miss Adelia. How you doing today, Miss Adelia? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I only saw half this movie.
There we go.
I fell asleep in the theater.
She probably saw the good half. On below me is the man with the master plan, the face that runs to space. That is Mr. Ferris Muthana. How you doing, sir?
I ain't no joke.
You're definitely not no joke.
No, you said the man with the master plan.
Oh, you know what? I'm behind right now. All my rap knowledge comes from Wikipedia. If you know, you know. And and the Spurs #1 fan, the House of Greg, our good guy over there with Greg. How you doing today, sir?
It's a brand new day, guys. It's a brand new day.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is. I'm sorry I'm in a tank top. It is like 100 degrees in Cali, and I'm burning up hotter than a tortilla on a freaking skillet right now. So I need to have a freaking tank top on. I asked Adelia if I could do this with no shirt on, and she told me no.
Yeah, we negotiated down to the tank top.
I actually ate a tortilla earlier today.
Ooh, there you go.
I am happy for you. I eat them every day. But I'm happy for you, Ferris.
Got some tortilla, got a lot of little, kind of like a little fajita thing, with some chipotle on it. Ooh. Made it into a taco.
That sounds good to me.
Sounds like
hey, man, I love tacos, man. Tacos are my thing, bro. I love them.
Yeah, shout out to the tacos.
Greg, this is for you.
Oh, the dew is for you.
The American dew.
Wait. Are we having a hydration break?
Hydration break?
Hydration break. Before we get started on the review. Okay. If you watch the World Cup watch-alongs on Good Friends, Better Rivals, you know.
You know. Look at, we didn't know if we were going to get another Spider-Man, and because, there was a 3-picture deal. Tom Holland did his 3 pictures, and now we're supposed to get in another 3. Super excited about it. But here's the first of, hopefully, the trilogy. There's no real confirmation on that, but we're assuming that we're going to get 3 with Tom Holland. Brand New Day came out Wednesday night, Thursday for some, and then some people saw it last week. This was one of the most anticipated movies because Sadie Sink was cast. We didn't know who she was. There was speculation. We remember there was the speculation of Jackal. There was the speculation of Rachel Summers. There was the speculation of she could be Mary Jane, the original redhead in the Spider-Man universe, opposite of MJ with Zendaya. We didn't really know. Oh, there was a possibility of Black Cat. We didn't know. So there was a lot of anticipation with this movie, which we are going to talk about spoiler-wise in a bit. But first off, just off of what you remember, because like you said, you did sleep the first 15 minutes of the movie. Tell us what you thought about the movie.
I think it was
overall.
More than the first 15 minutes, honestly. I really loved the part of the movie that I got to see. And I think that there were some great moments. There were some heartbreaking moments. And I actually really loved the way they introduced Jean Grey into the MCU. So I can't wait to talk about that with you guys.
Spoiler. The spoilers yet, but yeah, spoiler. But it's okay.
Oh, come on. It's everywhere now.
Ferris, I know you. This is one of your anticipated movies. You are a big Marvel guy like myself. Overall thoughts without spoilers of the movie, and did you enjoy it? Did you not? Were you disappointed? And give us your thoughts.
Wait, this is not a spoiler review?
Regardless, we're gonna do spoilers in a minute.
Okay.
We're doing non-spoilers first.
Okay,
I screwed that up.
I loved it. I love the movie. This is one. He's my favorite. Funny enough, my 2 favorite superheroes of all time are actually in this universe are connected. It's Iron Man and Spider-Man. They're connected. And I love Spider-Man. I've loved Spider-Man for years. I remember watching the animated Spider-Man TV show and then thinking, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're gonna make an animated one into the live action." When in because of Tobey Maguire, I was very happy. Um, I love the movie. I think it was great. Um, can't wait to talk about it. And Tom Holland, amen. Early on, I was like, Toby's my Spider-Man, right? But that Tom Holland, brother. Tom Holland. That's my guy. It's my guy, man. It's great also
Great.
seeing him grow up with us as well.
Oh,
Well,
100%.
me.
Well, literally growing up with us because he was like 17 when he got the Spider-Man part.
Yeah.
Now he's like, what, 20 something?
He's 30.
Greg, he's always 30. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
12 years. He got it at 18. 12 years. He's been Spider-Man.
That is wild. Greg, I know you are a comic book head like myself. Let me ask you this, and I'll ask a kind of a different question to you. Does this movie live up to like the comic book lore of Spider-Man? Kind of comparing movies to comic book. Does this live up to the lore that we saw in comic books, or even like Farrah said, the '90s cartoon?
I would say yeah, from the standpoint of it had a lot of emotional ties to me. It hit a lot of spots what I'm currently going through in life, transformation, having the intersection of trying to decide what parts of you want to keep, what parts you want to suppress, try to control. Is that even part of nature? Are there parts that you should just allow expression? Spider-Man has a special place in my heart. My dad, RIP, when he would pick me up to see me, there was two things he would do. He would go to the gas station to get a beer, obviously, alcoholic. But the good thing he did was he got me comic books, and Spider-Man was one of the comic books he always got me when he did see me. And it taught me a lot about, generational curses, like the Green Goblin, who has a domestic violence and alcoholism, and it shows the progression through lineages and generations to his son and stuff like that. And it taught me a lot of important lessons. And I think Spider-Man did this in this movie, and it did touch me in a certain way. I did tear up a little bit. It was a very touching movie for me, and it was just good all the way around. So I had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll just throw a little piece of personal for me. I got to take my kids to see it, but I also got to take my son, who's here with me right now, who I haven't seen since he was 10. So he's 23 now. And I got to see with him, my 16-year-old, and my daughter. So that was super fun to all be in the movie theater with us watching this movie. So it was very, very special to me, like it is to you, Greg, to see this movie. So that was pretty cool to see it with all my kids, or most of my kids. I have one that's in the Great White North right now. And hopefully I'll get to see him and see a movie with him eventually.
You have a kid in Canada?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, in the Great White North.
Is his name Ryan? Is his name Ryan Christian?
Yeah, which Canadian would you let him hang out with, Snark or Ryan?
Oh, that's a bad question.
or pay the bills.
I would let him play with pay the bills. No, Ryan and Stark are great. I would let my son hang out with all of them. But, they're all good people. All those Canadians, crazy Canadians over there. All right, we're gonna go into spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen Spider-Man: Brand New Day, come back to this port right here to see what we thought about the overall movie with spoilers. Once again, we all felt like this was a really good movie. And we're going to talk about rankings, all that good stuff in a little bit. But this is your spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen it, shut off the stream, come back later and rewatch this to get our overall thoughts. All right. Obviously, big part of the movie, Jean Grey from the X-Men mutants, as we know her, shows up in this movie. It was theorized, it was talked about, rumored, all these things. And ended up being true. She was Jean Grey. Now, Ferris, I'll come back to you only because I don't remember if you told me how big you were into comics, but I know Ferris and Greg were super big into comics. The backstory of Jean Grey. We sometimes dive into it in some medias, we sometimes don't. Because, I remember the 90s cartoon that really didn't talk too much about Jean Grey's background. We knew she was a powerful mutant. We didn't really talk about her background. Did you like the background story of Jean Grey in this movie and how they're setting her up? I will start with you, Ferris. What did you think about her background story?
I actually told this. I think I told this to Delia. I think yesterday or the day before. I did enjoy it because we've seen bits and pieces of her background in the movies of the X-Men movies prior to this. Unfortunately, it was in the two bad X-Men movies that no one wants to remember or talk about. There's a flashback scene in Last Stand. Sorry for everyone for bringing that
Spoilers.
up. Spoilers. And I'm sorry to talk about the movie. Period. I know it's a.
You
it's an-
can't offer a spoiler warning for a 20-year-old movie. I'm sorry.
No, I'm offering an I'm sorry warning for that 20-year-old movie, where Magneto and Charles are going to a house to meet this mutant girl that they heard about, like that is as powerful as Charles. And Magneto's like, no one's as powerful as you. We got to go see this. And they show up to her house, and I think the house explodes, but she like holds them in like some like dimension of the explosion. And then Charles like, oh my God, this woman's really powerful. And then she brings it back. And then Charles like, we need her at the mansion. That version of her getting the familial, background of Charles wanting to help her. Same thing with Magneto and the X-Men. This version is the one where she's kind of like what happened to Bobby in X-Men, where her mom is like, you're a freak, leave me alone and get out of my head. Because, seeing your son become an Iceman, you're like, that's weird, but kind of cool. But seeing your kid like borrow into the deep canvases of your brain is going to freak you out. And she became like most mutants in most of the comic books and most of the TV shows, where they're runaways, they're homeless or on the street, where Charles is out there looking for them to protect them. Just like what happened to Rogue in X-Men 2000, this was happening to Jean and her sister. They're runaways. They're in a park. And I really enjoy it where, you add a layer of trauma and that she needs to overcome and, get over. She's not just like, oh, I'm Jean Grey, powerful. Here's my friend Charles. It's like, no, she's building her, her DNA, I don't know how to say it, like, like the personality.
But building up to who we know she is. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Real quick, Greg, before we go to you, we welcome in Brandy and our good friend Justin. Welcome to the spoiler review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Real quick, give us your non-overall spoiler warning, and then we'll get you into the discussion. What we're talking about right now. Non-spoiler review. Did you like it? Enjoy it? Real quick, give us your thoughts.
Obviously, like the movie, most people's going to like the movie. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of great action, a lot of good color to it. The cinematography was good. I thought most of the dialogue worked and most of the storytelling, except for particular times, but most of it was pretty good. So, I give it like a 7.5, 8. Brandy, what'd you think about it just overall, spoiler free?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I gave it an 8.
Cool.
So she liked it as well.
Yep, and we'll come back to. We're talking about the Jean Grey backstory real quick, but wanted to know, and you guys can think about this if you liked her backstory compared to what we've seen in other media about Jean Grey. Greg, you're a comic book fan like myself. Backstory, you were okay with it? Were you good with it? You didn't like it? Just thought about Jean Grey's backstory.
I don't really. Could be even a comic book fan. I don't really stay attached to backstories or things that have to be a certain way. Obviously, the more touching characters that I'm attached to, probably I would be a little stingy if things go off the wall. But if you can make it work, I can see any kind of scenario working as long as it's done right. And in the comic books, we see them play around with a lot of origin stories, a lot of reinvention of characters and stuff like that. So I just figure it's on par with what comic books are. You just do it and you see if it works. And if it works, you go with it. And for me, it worked. It worked. It had a great reveal with the VMAX thing. It was just, it made a lot of sense going through it and stuff like that. I'm interested in like the power jumping, like the jumping, that scenario, that being her thing. We see like her powers. She's able to, like Charles are able to take over people's minds. They don't necessarily like jump, but that's like a little like nuanced thing that I'm trying to see if I didn't mind that at all either. It was touching in a relationship. It worked for me, so I was on board. And just I didn't have any clue that it was gonna be Jean Grey. So that was a great reveal for me. So it was super fun.
The jumping thing, and I'll tell before I get to it, the jumping thing. What I theorize is it's so violent because she's so new to using her powers. Whereas when you see her later, when she uses it, it's not as violent.
Yeah.
She's able to do it smoothly, whereas Charles would. But because she hasn't met Charles, she hasn't learned to control the power. And even in the part at the end where she sets off that big, basically mind control thing, it was, very violent.
Yeah.
But you can see her powers growing in the situation of that when she like brings him from the director from the other room. She's using her mind to drag him when she's stopping Peter or Spider-Man from coming at her. Like it's the more powerful she's getting used to her powers, the more smooth it is. So I actually like that because you would think someone that doesn't know how to do it, that it would be like violent to jump from one person to the next, to do that. Whereas when she learns to use her powers correctly, it's going to be a more smoother transition for her.
Yep.
Moving forward. Adelia, we've always talked on this channel about you having a sister. Brandy obviously has a sister, so she can probably talk about this too. The sister aspect of her background story. Was that very touching to you? And how did you like that being incorporated into her backstory?
I too have a sister.
I always hear you talk about your brothers.
No.
But
You also have a
You don't
sister
count.
too.
It's the
But this is sister. But this is
Yeah,
sister
no,
to
I
sister.
know, yeah.
Well, I was close growing up to my sister. Growing up, we were like always together because we're only 2 years apart. I'm 2 years older. We got along so well until our teenage years, but I would do anything to protect my sister. Do anything to protect her. So
And that's big in this movie.
Yeah. So you would give your life for your sister, And I did. I protected my sisters. That's what I was taught to do. Our family were always taught to protect each other. So if I ever lost her, I'd be upset too. And I tried to do everything to find my sister, because I loved her. I don't know
For
if
sure.
you would probably be the same way, even though
I think people would do.
though we had our differences, nobody
Yeah.
could hurt my sister.
I see what she was getting at, but I also think that there's a lot of guys out there to do the same thing for their brother. I think this is just a sibling
sure.
story.
Yeah.
Period. Like, your brother, sister, no matter what it is, you're going to go out there and you might even sacrifice to take a bullet for those people and do whatever you can to get. them safe.
Delia
Yeah.
is the same way as me.
No,
For sure.
I think it is special though when it is sister and sister.
Yeah.
Because there's a bond and a rivalry and a butting of heads that I don't think really necessarily develops in the same way as it would if it was brother and sister or brother and brother. I'd do anything to protect my sister. And
we
I'm
were
not a
both the older
confrontational
ones, too.
person at all. Yeah, I'm the older sister by 2 years.
And I'm
Brandy has an older sister and a younger sister. So,
Yeah, I have two sisters.
yeah, you have two sisters. I found this stuff with Sarah to be really touching. And that scene of them in the park where she's teaching Jean, like, how to use her powers. And then Sarah goes to get them ice cream and gets taken. Just, that really got to me. And,
Yeah,
like,
it gets me too.
yeah, I don't think in the comics that Sarah's a telepath. So them making that choice that she's not only a telepath here, but powerful enough to teach Jean in the ways of using her powers. That really spoke to just like the older sister in me who, led my little sister around and taught her how to do things. And yeah, exactly. So that was really touching to me. And I knew as soon as we hit that flashback, there was no way Sarah was still alive. I felt it because that's the trauma Jean needed to
for it to be
go over the edge.
like that angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked this is, was Jean a villain or a product of what Damage Control did? Because in one sense, like there is a part people are talking about this where Jean Grey really literally killed somebody because she put him in front of a car and he gets hit.
Because that's what I was going to ask. Like, so y'all are talking spoilers because y'all been talking about the
Yeah.
Jean Grey story here. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, the reason why this score I still got a decently high score on this film, but the reason why it's not higher and it could have been higher is literally based on the Jean Grey character. The backstory stuff and everything I thought was fine. I didn't care that like the sister, don't care if they even changed any of that in the comics or whatever. Perfectly fine with the backstory of it, how it occurred, all that. But this character did a couple of stupid moves and also killed people. She's a murderer. Like, and at the end of the film, she shouldn't be riding off into the sunset. She should have been like in a jail cell because of what she did. And then maybe you had like Xavier come to her, right, like in the jail, and kind of pulls up to her cell, and like you get like a hint, oh, they're going to talk, and maybe like Xavier can do something. But with Jean Grey here, like she is pure out evil. There's like innocent people that she just murders, like, and a couple of them on purpose, not on accident, because like the tank hit something or whatever. It was like all those people died. All the people died that was in the the tanker hit. But I'm not even counting those people. There's literally one guy where they just back up and get ran over. That's murder. You murder somebody.
Well, I will push back because
why didn't Spider-Man save him? He's let him
here's
walk
the
with
problem.
his thing.
That's true. But I'll push back because her and her sister were just sitting there in the park being innocent, and they took her sister and murdered her.
Yeah, but she don't know that she's murdered.
Yeah, she don't.
She's still
but she's looking. But she's looking
until the end.
But she's looking. But she's looking for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and
real world.
Was happening, right? You can assume they capture her or whatever.
Listen,
but real world consequences.
I'm not gonna kill.
Someone.
I'm not gonna kill innocent people to find my sister. You know that I wouldn't. So that is a bit.
But
we don't know.
That'd be like,
movie.
No, hold on. That'd be like the movie Taken. Home dude's going to go get his like wife or whatever it is back, and he's just randomly killing people that's not part of the gang that took her. Like she literally just kills an innocent old man. Like just has him back up and get ran over.
This is why I'm wondering if she already has the Phoenix Force inside her. In this,
but that's always that was always been a theory. But here's the problem with that though, and I'll push back a little bit on this. Yes, is it wrong? But she is sitting there with her sister, and her sister gets kidnapped, and she says it to Spider-Man. Okay, she says it to Spider-Man. We have done nothing wrong, but yet they are coming after us because we are different.
Me and my son talks about his favorite game a lot, like multiple times, both part 1 and part 2, and it's Last of Us. We discussed the very end of The Last of Us Part 1 over and over and over again, and this pertains to it because the discussion that we had, and I told him, was what Joel did at the end of that game where he goes through and you murder all those people is wrong. But then I also look at my son and say, if somebody ever touched you or did that or was about to kill you, I would do the exact same thing that Joel did.
Then what the hell are you talking about then, man?
No. I did something wrong. I deserve to be punished. No, I don't deserve to get to ride in a bus by myself. No guards. You literally kill people.
You're assuming he's innocent. You don't know that, dude. He's just some random throwaway character.
But hold on.
We don't know.
Let's go back. Let's go back to other heroes. What happened in Longos with Scarlet Witch? So should she be in jail?
Oh yeah.
When they had the fight in New York and the Avengers are protecting and there's rocks falling on innocent people, should they be in jail?
Should have been captured and put in whatever it was for what she did in the show WandaVision.
Well, that is your choice. I get what you're saying. Well, WandaVision, we're watching WandaVision right now.
Just taking control of people's minds and making them do things that they don't want to do is perfectly fine by your morals.
No.
I'm not saying it's not right, but I'm saying is I see where she's coming from.
It's a wrong enough. No,
I'm saying if you start putting these people in jail for things in superhero stuff, then you're not going to have any superheroes to do any movies about.
Well, also, too, I think this fits her character, right?
It does.
Jean Grey is one of the most powerful mutants in the X-Men, in that universe, in the comics. Like, she's dangerous.
What's wrong with killing?
Yeah, she's wrong. I understand.
Well, that's why I believe she's both a villain, and I feel bad for her. But
yes.
You can feel bad for like somebody that actually does something that technically should be in trouble for.
Hurting other people that didn't kidnap her sister, that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, because we're also I think this version of Jean is
She's
like
just learning who she is.
she's not. Yeah, exactly. She's young. She's probably early 20s. They're probably age her down to
She's
maybe
young and
late
dumb.
teens. Exactly. She's young. She's dumb. She's learning her powers. She's dangerous. And I think her doing that to that man and doing the stuff it's fitting. It fits the character.
But it's still wrong.
It's still wrong. Yeah, but
Still wrong, yeah.
Yeah, it fits
I
because
just think it's the wrong way to go with that character when you first, like, this is the first time we're really getting this version of the character in the MCU.
I don't agree
And
with that.
Adelia's thing that she says makes perfect sense, right? If she's already got the Dark Phoenix part of her, which does turn her evil and make her one of the most evil villains and strongest villains out there, when she does completely do that. But with that being said, we shouldn't be allowed to just ride off into the sunset on a bus. Obviously she's upstate New
There's
York.
stuff
She's
that's
going
going to
towards
happen.
Xavier.
Obviously, there's going to be different stuff with her, right?
Right. If she was in a
Well,
jail
there's-
cell and Xavier rolls up and starts talking to her, and we get like a little scene, maybe even a mid-credit scene or something like that with Xavier doing that, I would have been like, okay, cool. So we got somebody that can control her, like Xavier. He's going to try to like help her out, but we don't have that interaction. We don't have her getting.
Here is why I'm glad they didn't do that. Because that is basically the storyline of the two takes on Dark Phoenix that we've gotten already. He gets Jean when she's a child. He realizes how dangerous she is. He controls her, hides that part of her away, and then we get two of the worst superhero movies of all time out of it. I'm
But-
really glad they didn't do that.
But I think we are going to go in that direction because, and one of the things I was going to bring up, and we can bring it up now, is the inhibitor chip that
Yes.
Spider-Man makes. That technology, if you remember, is still in Damage Control's building because it got thrown off of the Hulk. They're going to get a hold of it, and they're going to say, we can now control. And actually, I take it back. I'm sorry. They did have it because they used it in her, against her while they were trying to make her jump and do all that stuff they were doing. So we know they have that chip. Now,
Yeah.
you can use the whole, well, she murdered somebody, mutants need to be controlled. And we're going to get the name eventually dropped. Like, oh, these are the mutants. People that have these superpowers that were just born with them. They weren't given to them. And now we need to control them.
Yeah,
And so
was
I think
thinking
that-
when she's
I think
running
that's
the
a-
bus, it's going to be a new story, right? She's going to be used for more stuff, right?
I think she's
absolutely.
going to go. I think she's going to go and we're going to get Charles. I think
It's gonna be
and
the
this
new
is what
X-Men stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're definitely
Yeah.
getting a new X-Men. But I think with all the new announcements, she's gonna take off, and Charles has already formed the X-Men, and she's gonna be at it.
We have 3 confirmed people in the X-Men movies.
Beast,
No.
Rogue, and Emma.
No, Beast is rumored, Rogue is confirmed, and Emma is confirmed, and Sadie Sink is confirmed. So
Okay, yeah. So yeah.
So, yeah. We don't know if Charles Milton is actually Beast. Depends on if he gets it or not. So
To be fair, until Marvel Studios announces any of these, we don't know if any of them are actually confirmed, except
well,
for
they-
Sadie Sink as Jean.
no, they announced Emma.
They announced
No,
Emma.
that's in the trades. I don't think the Marvel announced Emma. It's just it was in Deadline and Variety and THR.
Oh, okay. I
Like-
thought THR said Marvel.
No,
confirmed.
here
Okay.
I am 100% convinced that the only reason we didn't get an X-Men cast at San Diego Comic-Con was because this movie was coming out a week later, and they had to keep Jean's identity a secret. They couldn't just like reveal it or reveal an X-Men cast without Jean. So I think it's next week, the week after, 2 weeks
We'll get
maybe.
we'll probably
We'll
get a
get
whole
the
X-Men
X-Men cast at D23.
Greg, I'll smash these 2 questions for you since we did a lot of talking. Where does Jean Grey go from here, and was she a product of Damage Control, or was she just a straight up villain?
Where does Jean go from here? She obviously is going to find her way into the X-Men somehow. Obviously, the easiest way is Charles finding her, either using Cerebro or just accounting her some way through, hearing some rumors about her or just encountering her, on a whim or whatever. That's her pathway is going to find her road to, redemption, and her road into the X-Men is going to happen through that. Was she the villain? I can totally understand why people are upset or people don't like that part, because it makes perfectly logical sense. Like, just because I can overlook something and not pay attention and not care about that doesn't mean, like, logically, when I sit back and think about it, when you make the argument, yeah, she probably shouldn't, she shouldn't be, like, featured, and redeemed right away, and given the right to, like, just jump into the, the X-Men and stuff like that. But I'm okay with things like that. I don't in depthly analyze things like that, but I can understand why people feel like that. And there's no real. I don't think there's a really great argument for that. It does make you feel better at the end knowing that her sister is dead and they tortured her pretty much. Yeah, and that was the last vision. Seeing the VMAX, where VMAX all comes into play and stuff like that. So it does kind of, like, in your mind, you're like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't really care that she went on a warpath, because I can sympathize with that. I can see, like, that point of view or stuff like that. But if you look at it from like a logical standpoint point of view, like, I see the argument. It's kind of weird.
At the end of the movie, well, when she found out her sister was dead and they tortured her, like, when she flips out and the glass is right there fitting to kill that dude and everything, right? And she's about to take other people out. Like, I get that. Spur of the moment, she goes kind of insane. So, like, none of my problem has anything to do with that part. Once she finds out her sister got killed and stuff, there's a little more leniency there. But let's also get this straight. When I bring up something like that, I think I've also told you when we do, like, House of Dragon, I can take a little bit of, like, writing or something like that I don't care for as much, that may be a stupid move and a dumb thing, as long as all the other things around that per se thing is super great, right? So, like, this didn't take me out of the movie enough. I wouldn't, like, oh shit, mad, and then gave it a horrible score. I literally came up here and said, a 7.5, 8 for the movie, which is pretty high. So that's my thing. It's like, it could have been higher if I didn't have that issue, but that issue didn't destroy the movie for me. But it's like a logical thing that when I see other people argue for it, I'm like, oh yeah, I get what they're saying 100%. I can't, like, counteract that.
I get what you're saying. Well, go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, I don't think Jean's the villain of this movie. I think she does some bad things in this movie, but I think the real villain of this movie is William Metzger, Tremel Tillman's character, the guy from Damage Control.
Yeah.
He escapes too. He's not captured at the end of this after everything he did to Sarah and Jean. So I think is going to play a big role in the X-Men movies, and so is the Department of Damage Control as this anti-mutant task force thing.
This is a legit question here, because I didn't actually pay attention to, like, I was seeing all the things surrounding it, all the other, like, I was like, oh, there's that one person, and there's this one person putting in an ambulance and stuff because they was hurt, obviously, and all this stuff. At the end of the movie, does he just, like, walk away, or, like...
Yeah, he just walked away.
Yeah, he just walked away.
Yeah, because Spider-Man stops her from killing him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if she killed him, I think everyone would be like, understandable. He killed your sister. He tortured her to death. We get that murder. We understand why you did that. But he stops her from murdering him, and then he ends up getting. Can I say it?
Yeah, he got shot.
Yeah, he didn't get shot, and then she saves his life.
Spoilers.
Oh, my bad. Spoilers.
We are in a spoiler review, guys. We don't have to say spoilers.
He gets shot. She saves him by breathing for him, and then Frank takes him to the hospital. Yeah, Metzger just says, "All right,
peace."
Let me go. Just walks away. Just like he walks away, like nothing happened to him. Yeah. So yeah, he's back in his office.
Yeah. And he 100% is going to use the chip, the inhibitor chip, to now go after mutants. So I think that was a great.
You know what? I love that Spider-Man is is directly responsible for what's going to happen to the mutants. So you connect it, right?
I'll tell you, Hulk is more responsible because Spider-Man kind of steals his technology.
Well, yeah,
because the Hulk sets it up.
Hulk has the inhibitor, but his inhibitor is how he's targeting the gamma radiation.
It's entirely different.
Yeah,
type.
It's specifically only for him.
Yes,
and then Spider-Man makes it to where it can be for anybody.
The mutated genome of his arachnid stuff, which then is going to be repurposed into the whatever gene they want to call it, the X gene, the
X gene.
Yeah, then they're going to recalibrate it to the X gene, and then all hell's going to break loose. I want to know who's going to be Magneto, because Magneto and Metzger, was it Tillman Tremel? Is that what you said his name is?
Tremel Tillman.
Tremel Tillman. Him and Magneto are going to be like head to head. So that's going to be a great tour de force with the actor who plays Magneto. That's gonna be nice.
Right. So like in X-Men, the whole point is like the government's trying to find a way to control them.
Yes.
Now you have the means to control them. So
Yes,
now the
because
government
of
has to have
Spider-Man,
means to catching them. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
There's a way
exactly.
to it's used to like catch them. It's used to like control them, and it's used to enslave them. So there's different. You'll see different.
Well,
Yeah.
and we're gonna move on to the next thing. But he says it when they show the assassins, and then they show all the like weaponry that Spider-Man had caught people with. They're like, oh, well, we're trying to use them now to because rather than put it away, we'll use it and make it work for us.
Mm.
And
in a good way.
in a good way. So that and that's why they wanted to catch Jean, and I'm sure that's why they'll target mutants to do the same.
Because they were scanning
now,
her brain. Because they were scanning her brain.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to take her power and give it to somebody that they trusted, like probably another like government. Like government, like kind of like a super soldier, like pick the government super soldier and make him the Jean Grey telepath. But you then realize that, oh yeah, you can't do that.
And and this is what the government does, right? We've seen it in Shield, where they take the Hydra weapons. We've seen it when they make Deadpool out of Wolverine and all the other mutant powers and stuff. So the government's always trying to find a way to stay on footing with these mutants, which they're scared of.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you're right. Captain America talks about it twice in Winter Soldier and the original Cap, where he talks about, or Avengers and Winter Soldier, where he talks about you're making these weapons that you took from the enemy, but now you're trying to use them for yourselves. So 100% right. Good point out, Greg. Obviously, the movie is a Spider-Man movie, and we're just going to start talking about Spider-Man. Adelia, was this a Spider-Man movie or was this a Peter Parker story?
I think it was both. Okay. And I mean, I say that having not seen the entire beginning of this movie. I had taken my medication and it kicked in right when the Marvel Studios logo hit, and I woke up and God, I don't even remember where it was when I woke up. Huh?
Peter was in the cocoon.
Oh, he was in the cocoon. I missed all of that. That's the chunk of the movie I missed. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again. But I think that we were telling the Spider-Man story with Jean and the Department of Damage Control and everything. And we were telling the Peter Parker story with MJ and Ned and to an extent, Punisher is in there filling a role in both stories because he's looking out after Peter, but he's also, helping out Spider-Man. So I think it's both, honestly.
Paris, what about you?
At the end.
What do you think?
Again, right, with superhero movies, right, it's not a Spider-Man movie. It's a Peter Parker film. It's a film about loss and maturing and evolution. There's that scene where he's going crazy and he's watching that video about spider evolution and how the way it cocoons itself and it matures into a adult spider. It's about going through trauma and knowing that you're not alone in this world, like him and Jean, and they're unpacking what happened to him and No Way Home. So it was completely like we say it is, man. Like we all like Captain America: Winter Soldier for one reason. It's not a Captain America movie in a sense. It's a government espionage infiltration movie where he has to bring down the Hydra members with shout out to Robert Redford, God rest your soul. It's the same thing what happened with Spider-Man. This Spider-Man movie is about Peter Parker's evolution and being a fully fledged grown-up Spider-Man. Because the first 3 films, he's in high school. He's a kid. He wants to be left alone in Europe with the girl he wants to date. But now he's a grown-up. And how he lost himself in Spider-Man. And it backfired and it almost killed him. If we watch, he almost killed Peter Parker because he would have been full Spider-Man with the black eyes. It was wonderful to see. It was wonderful to see.
Justin, I know that you watched the original Spider-Man, and I want to get your thoughts also on the story, if this is a Peter Parker story or a Spider-Man story. But did you like the fact that they gave him natural web shooting just
I
like
think it's
Toby.
fine for like this movie, but like, and that's one of the reasons why I was going to say this is actually both Peter Parker and a Spider-Man story. So I thought they did really well with that whole like situation. Is like uh, when it comes down to it. So the very beginning of the story, you get a couple of moments because he's like watching a video of like them going through MIT and everything, MJ and Ned going through the that
4
kind of
years.
stuff. Yeah, so like, and he's like going through some of that. He's having to do everything by himself, but there's a couple of Peter Parker moments. But there's like a huge amount of this movie to where he's wearing his mask. He doesn't have his mask off. There's a huge amount where he's got the mask on and he's being Spider-Man. And matter of fact, like the moves and all this stuff, the swinging around the city, all the action, the fight scenes, and everything else that like he's involved in. I thought looked like super great. That's one of the reasons why I got a higher score on it. Mainly, didn't see a lot of problems with any CGI or whatever. And I have seen where Tom Holland actually he can do some of these flips and stuff on his own, like in person, like without. And obviously they got wire work doing it, but yeah, he does. He can do some of these movements like really good. So it looks really good on the screen because it seems more natural. But yeah, I agree. Like he has a lot of the story with Peter with like his former girlfriend and his best friend, and he can't be with him. He doesn't want to harm them. And I thought they did a really good job of like setting that up. He doesn't like. I've seen some people try to argue and say something about like, oh, like Spider-Man's over here stalking him or whatever, and it's like, no, it's not. Like he's seen a video over a 4-year period. He only saw a couple of videos. It wasn't like he watched a video every second of the day. And then he didn't actually try to find them when he knew they were out of school and probably even back home. He just happens to bump in. Ned comes into the same place that he goes in all the time to buy flowers for the gravesite. So like, and then he was just like, the curiosity killed the cat kind of situation. I want to go see like what they're doing and stuff.
I thought it was cool he had the webs come out of his arms. I thought it was really cool that he was turning into the real Spider-Man. Sorry, excuse me.
The real Spider-Man, love it.
I agree with that. I like that. I prefer that, right? Because because in the Tobey Maguire one, he is a spider. He's Spider-Man. Like it's coming out of his body. His body's making the fluid. And then in Amazing Spider-Man, they have the web shooters, and then this one they had the futuristic suit with the web shooters. I liked how, because Tony's gone. You can't rely on technology anymore. I know he's smart. He's a smart guy, Spider-Man. But that was one thing, he like it's time, right? Because at the end where she says, "Are you Spider-Man or are you Peter Parker?" And he says, "I'm both." That's the symbol right there, where he becomes both of them at the same time, right there. And I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. It was a good creative choice by the director and the writing staff.
I agree. Greg, what'd you think? Did I ask you about is this Spider-Man or Peter Parker?
No.
Okay. Give us your thoughts.
I definitely think what makes these movies great is it's about both, right? But the touching part, the part that I really resonated with, and I thought was at the forefront of it, was the Peter Parker story. I think his loss between Aunt May, his friends, the transformation. You don't know what you're turning into. You don't know how to transform. You don't know how to accept that part of yourself and what to accept a part of yourself. Was about him. Obviously, there are times in your life, or I experienced, where like I let people go because I thought I was protecting them, and it ripped me apart on the inside. It broke me, and so that was a touching thing that resonated with me. So there's a lot of things that he had to go through that I felt it was about him personally accepting loss himself, who he is, and transforming into both. So I thought it was probably, you could say it goes from Peter Parker into Spider-Man, but the Peter Parker stuff is really what got me at the forefront of this movie.
I would like to kick in real quick with the Zendaya when she finds a note because he's off doing something right, and he comes back to the ship.
Mm-hmm. Justin, that's next. That's next. We're gonna get into that right now. You're right there with me, buddy. Right there. We're gonna get into that next. All right, everybody talked about the Spider-Man. Okay, now MJ Peter's story. there's two big moments. Obviously, we'll talk, since Justin, you brought up the note, we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the rooftop. But go ahead and continue your thoughts on the note and what happens on the boat.
So, my biggest deal with that I actually liked about that was it's like she reads the note and ain't some stupid cheesy like plot thing that's like, oh, she read the note and she was so moved that now she like remembers everything, or now they're like best friends and lovers again, you know, all of a sudden just because she read a note that he had left inside of like a cup that he never gave. I love the fact that like she realizes, hey, something happened. And a lot of people were like, well, how would she even feel? I'm like, bro, she lives in a world with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. So some of this stuff that he's leaving in that note isn't that crazy. Like, so you can actually say, oh, yeah, this could happen in this world. Now, in our world, of course not. We'd be like, what have you been smoking? Right? But in their world, that's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, there's the Hulk. We all know he exists and he helped save New York. So, like, some of these things, can happen. So, like, her reading that and being like, hey, I don't remember you. I don't have any memories. Like, I don't know you. So like I don't love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not even like basically friends right now. You know, maybe we could become friends or something like that. So I thought that was actually really cool how they did that. If you want to talk about the rooftop, on that one, I thought it was done pretty well, but at the same time, it was kind of like watching a soap opera where something's coming from 2 miles away, like, oh, that guy's going to do something and this girl's going to leave him for this and everything else.
You don't always know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we always know. Like that, when I saw that happening, I knew it was
I like how Justin says it's like soap operas when he's never watched a soap opera.
I know how they work. I really meant, I'm going to be honest with you, it's just because she went to a soap opera thing, I really meant.
It's like that thing, I've never watched it, but it's like just like
No. But I really meant to say it's like the little what is it? The channel like
AMC?
No, like AMC, like the channels that would play these like Christmas story movies about some girl. Hallmark channel.
Hallmark.
Yeah, the Hallmark channel stories is what I really meant when I said soap operas. But she just went to a soap opera thing, hanging out with soap operas.
Shout out to all the Christmas romance movies.
People.
You're right. Shout out to the Hallmark movies. Okay, so let's get into the kind of combination of those two scenes, the rooftop scene and the boat scene. So watching the rooftop scene, for me personally, I will admit what Justin said. I saw it coming, but the impact was still there for me. Like, I was like, we know that Jean has control of Zendaya, but the impact
MJ,
when... Sorry, yeah, MJ. Yes, MJ. But when he gets so emotionally filled, thinking that she remembers him, I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna hurt." Greg, those two scenes, you could talk about either one, but let me know what your thoughts were. Did they land it? Did you think, like Justin said, it was real Hallmarky, or was it corny, or did you enjoy both scenes?
On the rooftop, I was taking out, like, I was locked in because I think I was like just in the Spider-Man kind of like, I didn't see it coming. I was just like, this is Spider-Man.
Oh, you got food?
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I was like, this is Spider-Man. They're gonna do lovey-dovey. They're gonna. It's the magical. You know how she described it. Even the way that Jean Grey described it. That you really thought you're a sucker like that. Like, I was like, damn, you got me too. Like, I'm the sucker. But yeah, that threw me off. So it hit me pretty. It was a good twist for me. I liked it. I was all in on that. And then yeah, like Justin said, like, it was good that that they didn't automatically come back together. It is kind of like a little soap opera kind of thing to spread out we know they're gonna be together, right? So they got to spread out this relationship and try to make it more interesting rather than it's just gonna be stuck together for the whole trilogies of movies and stuff like that. There has to be some ups and downs. You got to throw a side piece in there. You got to throw her with a dude. You got to make this dramatic as possible. So
you guys don't know how soap operas work, do you?
Oh, I watch them all the time, girl. So don't even come from me.
They don't stay together very.
He's an avid watcher. Listen.
They always come back and they always have sexual tension. Don't give me that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always like a third wheel. There's all of that. Come on.
I mean, they had a third wheel, and that guy, MJ's boyfriend, disappeared quicker than.
That's kind of the fault too. That guy he's like not even there anymore. Entirely
he was
in the movie.
That's the homie from Star Wars, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they
it's
put
the
him
guy
in
that
there for 2
plays Ezra.
seconds.
Oh,
They
that's
played 2 seconds.
They saw his
That's the
crappy
guy we
acting
met,
and was
yeah.
like, "Oh, we're running his ass out the movie."
So we met 2 people in the movie.
My man
He's
got,
a-
he got kicked out and like dumped off screen, bro.
disrespectful. Adelia, how did
Bro,
those?
they told that dude, hey, so you're gonna show up one day, kiss Zendaya, then leave.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, but that's why he kissed him there, and Tom was like, you know what?
Yeah,
Nah,
we're
we're
not.
done.
Get him out, get him out of here. Adelia, how did those scenes for you impact the story? And did you enjoy them? Did you like them? Did you see it coming? Did you think, oh man,
Oh, I totally saw Jean having control of MJ on the rooftop, but I thought that was perfect needed tension for Peter and MJ and Peter's longing for MJ at that point in the movie. And I thought they executed it very well. And then, to have it switch immediately to Zendaya falling off the roof, MJ falling off the roof, and Peter saving her, I thought was a good way to break that like romantic tension that had built up once you found out that it wasn't really her. The note, I think they handled way better than that, and I thought the rooftop was pretty good because these aren't the high school kids that we saw the last time we saw them. And in high school, you tend to have big emotional swings and melodramatic arguments and about bullshit and stuff like that. This was a mature MJ and a mature Peter who've been through a lot in the last 4 years, standing in front of each other, and Peter finally telling her, I did all of this to protect you, and I love you. And her saying, I don't remember you. I don't love you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was handled really, really well. It could have been full of corny dialogue and a bunch of melodramatic bullshit, and it just wasn't. And I like how at the end she comes back and asks him to take her home. And then they get to her apartment and she's like, do you want to come up and see how Ned is? And it like opens that door to them getting to know each other more, even though they just had this really, in a way, kind of emotional breakup of that relationship that Peter was still clinging on to. And I thought it was really well written and really well acted.
So if we can all agree on Ferris, I'll go to you to get your the MJ storyline. Did it felt real, or did it feel like it was shoehorned in?
No,
To
I
me,
don't
it
think it
felt
was
real.
shoehorned in. It was
Okay,
very real.
I wanted to make sure. Ferris, a man that has just found love in his life. What did you think about it?
I think it was beautiful. And I like how they didn't like reverse the decision like that, right? Because it happened in the last movie at the end of the movie. Then in this movie, they could have been like, oh, she always had deep inside her this void, this love that she knew for someone. They could have done that, and you've been like, okay, I guess, But they went complete different. Where it's like, yeah, she says straight up, man, actions have consequences. The spell worked. I don't remember you. I don't know you. I don't love you. It worked. And in his mind, he kind of wished it worked, but didn't work, right? Then that was the moment where it was confirmed to him that, oh shit, no, Strange did it. He did that. He did it perfectly. Because he isolated himself for 4 years from them, right? They go to MIT. He stays in New York and he engrosses himself in Spider-Man. So he didn't really confirm that, did it fully work. They had that little thing at the donut shop, and that was it at the end of the last movie. But he was confronted with the concrete answer of, oh yeah, it worked, and it saddened him, and it was perfect. And I agree with Adelia. It wasn't some melodramatic nonsense. It was two grown-ups talking, or in the movie, I guess, finally grown-ups because they're 4 years out of college. So yeah, they're grown-ups. It's fine. They're grown-ups talking about the most powerful emotion, love, because he remembers everything.
Mhm.
and
He was
she.
hoping the note triggered her.
Yeah. That's what he was exactly, Bernie. He was hoping like, oh, she reads the note and some,
I-
underlining
It gets triggered.
secret in like love in her mind or in her heart's gonna, unlock. And it didn't, bro,
But he
because
didn't
My
anything.
Doctor Strange is knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
my thing is I don't know if he really thought it was going to trigger it. I think that note gives him possibly an opportunity to like open the door for something happening later on. And I don't care necessarily for like the trope stuff, like as far, but here's how it goes. Like that scene on the rooftop, that's kind of like a tropey thing that people's done in multiple movies. I don't care that they do that as long as it's done well, and it was done well in this instance. It was done super good.
I thought Jean that was dirty by Jean. Because
Yeah.
she
It was. But you,
like,
but you know what?
she don't-
You know what?
she's like,
You
she
know what?
doesn't even- Go ahead, sorry, Dan.
I really appreciated that they had later in the movie Peter tell MJ, by the way, on the rooftop, she took control of you and she had me kiss you. And that actually was very important to the plot in the end, because that's when she tells him she has no memory of when Jean was possessing her, and how he then knows that Metzger was lying to him about who Sarah was. And I like that all tied in neatly, and it didn't feel shoehorned in or forced in that way. But it was just Peter being a stand-up guy saying, by the way, I know that you have just told me you don't love me and all of this, but you should know that on the rooftop, I did kiss you because I thought that you remembered. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Ferris, what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. So I saw this comment by Christopher Nolan in one of his interviews where he said, I think it goes to what Justin just said, is just because you recognize the trope and see it being conveyed and it's effective, don't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's bad. It is what it is. And I'm with Greg. Greg, I'm not gonna lie to you. It got me. That scene, it got me because I
Okay,
thought
that
like,
guy.
oh yeah, no, I'm with
Like,
you, Greg. I'm with you, Greg. Because I thought like, oh, they're going with the trope, the unlocking of the deep down love, and people do that. I see that. You see that all the time. And then when I realized that's not MJ and it was Gene, I'm like, oh, that was good. That was good. That was good. Because it got me. I'm with you, Greg.
Yeah.
It got me
Okay.
too.
It got me too.
No, you weren't the other one, Greg. It got me. I was like, oh, that got me.
Well, it didn't get me, but like as soon as she starts smiling, I'm like, ah, shit! Like I already knew this was happening. But I will say, what that scene does is like, you immediately I was like, bro, Peter Parker is freaking destroyed right now. Spider-Man is done. Like at that moment, it was done. That's what I'm saying. Like you can do things like this as long as it's written and done well. The problem is a lot of people throw these kind of things in a movie just to do it because it's a cheap, easy way to try to do something. But then obviously they don't do it very well, and it kind of sucks because you're like, you notice the trope, you notice what they're trying to go for, and it's like, oh, and it sucked on top of that. This was actually done really good. Like this was something I caught, but then it was done so good to where I was like, I didn't mind they did it. I was like, oh. Man, you got emotion from me because of like now I know Spider-Man's freaking tore apart. So like, because he thought for a second
He was so
that
happy.
it was done. That it was.
And this was after where he saw her kiss that dude, and then he jumped off a building. And he was flying through the air.
Yeah,
So like this man was emotionally devastated throughout the entire movie. And you can see that he was so devastated he couldn't regulate his emotions, and that's why the arachnid gene and the Peter Parker human gene, they're being unbalanced, right? Like, and the arachnid was getting more of the human because the human was emotionally devastated and he was kind of falling in the dumps. Then the arachnid gene saw an opening to take over kind of the host body, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that explanation. Now we knew from promotions, things like that, we were going to get two other superheroes in this movie, Punisher and Hulk. And I'll combine this kind of together because we have been going at this for a minute.
Listen,
Were these characters?
stop you for 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me stop you for 1 second because
Sure.
you like said we got these two other characters, Punisher and Hulk, which I think you're correct. Because a lot of people assumed maybe Tombstone and maybe Scorpion was in the movie. Not really. You
Well,
can just skip.
we're
Bro. We
gonna
don't even need to
we're
talk
gonna
about their asses. They're done.
we're gonna get into that too. We're gonna get into that too. Right. You're right. We're here with me, Hambo. You're right here with me. But Punisher and Hulk. Do you guys feel like they were needed for the story? And I know, Adelia, you brought up the whole, or I forgot who brought it up, the whole Hulk situation and the inhibitor, and how that came about. But do you think they were needed for the story, or were they just in there to say, "Hey, these guys are still around"? And I'll start with you, Justin. What did you think they were needed for this story, or were they just in there to be in there?
I'll give my thoughts and then Brandy can go just because we're in the same box here. But Hulk, I thought definitely was needed for the story because they used the him being a scientist and everything else to be able to come up with this thing that gives him the idea for the inhibitor, which is fine. So I thought that was a creative way to have him built into the story. And you kind of got the comedy kind of buddy cop situation with him and the Punisher, which this was a very serious movie. And if you don't have that, you don't have as much of the Spider-Man joking around. There's a couple of moments, but with him and like Punisher kind of doing their go back and forth, even those scenes were kind of serious, they were still funny at the same time. So I get why the Punisher's in there. It's great that the Punisher's in there. I thought they were both done really well, but let's be honest here. They made ways for them to put them in the movie for the cool factor. It was cool as hell when they're both like tag teaming to fight the Hulk for a second. Even though it don't make no sense, anybody thinks their machine gun's going to work on the Hulk, it still looked cool. We went for the rule of cool here. It's also cool that you could have made a way that like because he's smart as well, talking about Spider-Man, that he come up with this thing maybe even on his own or whatever. And whatnot, but it was still cool that it's like, yeah, let's bring in the Hulk. It's gonna be cool as hell. We can't do a Hulk movie, but we could put Hulk in situations where he's fighting against something like Spider-Man and make it like super cool and really fun. And that's what it ended up being. And I'm fine if, like I said again, if you do it well. I thought those both characters being here was done well, and for they were in the movie, they didn't hurt the movie. They like actually made the movie, I think, better.
Okay. Greg, before you answer, or sorry, Brandy, go ahead. My apologies.
I really missed some of those parts with Punisher, but I like that they were they were needed, especially the Hulk with his thing that he had on, and so Peter, oh well, I can make something. It triggered him to try to make something so he could, suppress his thing that was coming out in him. So I think that was needed, and I did like the Punisher. When I saw him, I was like, the Punisher, because I didn't look at any trailers or nothing for this stuff, so I was coming in blind with all of it. I thought it was really cool because I like the Punisher.
It didn't hurt the movie. It didn't hurt the movie,
No.
But did anybody else find it kind of weird? There was a couple spots where the Punisher, even wearing his gear and everything, that even had the skull on it, doing that stuff in mid daylight. Like, bro, he's in broad daylight, just walking around as the Punisher. Like a lot of the stories, it was all done at like dark, nighttime. And
this was broad day, yeah. And
it's a different world now, right? So
maybe I do want to know what happened at Staten Island because they kept referencing it, and nobody knows what happened. But we know Spider-Man saved him. Greg, thoughts on the Punisher and Hulk?
The Hulk reminded me. I used to watch they had Spider-Man and X-Men back to back in cartoons, like when you came home from school. And so they had an episode where they did a crossover where he's becoming the Man Spider or whatever, and he's struggling with his transformation and him becoming a mutant or whatever. And he goes to the X-Men and he talks. And Beast is the one that kind of sympathizes with him, the intellectual Beast, the guy that kind of hates. He at one point hated what he became and tried to find a cure for himself and stuff like that. So I kind of related to what Hulk is, super intelligent, the guy who did
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a couple of different episodes like that. Yeah.
So it kind of reminded me of that. Like they chose that character, so it made sense that they would have to find a guy that was smart, that kind of was trying to find a way to control or eliminate what he was or stuff like that. So they chose Hulk. So that kind of fit in for me personally, and it was fun seeing the Hulk all the time. During Rampage, and they had some cool scenes of Spider-Man versus Hulk and all that stuff. Castle, like it's just comic book stuff. Like they just throw characters together. It makes sense. And realistically, I'm not supposed to buy it. I'm not supposed to like feel that the Punisher's tone and who he is as a character fits in this movie necessarily, but it just fits. I get lost in the world, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with crossovers and stuff like that in the comic books. They throw random characters together sometimes. So, but this one makes sense, and I kind of like just got on board with it. I like seeing their little relationship form and stuff like that. So it was fun.
That's awesome. Adelia, did you like seeing the old Hulk back compared to Professor Hulk, or did you prefer Professor Hulk over the old Hulk?
I thought Professor Hulk was kind of strange in Endgame, so I'm fine with it being back to Savage Hulk. But did you catch what the thing about Hulk at the end? The last mention of Hulk in this whole thing is they're taking Bruce Banner to a psychiatric ward, and I'm very curious where that's going to lead, because that's the kind of stuff that matters a lot to me. It's like when you start throwing around like psychiatric stuff, that's when it's like, okay, what are we doing? Because Banner's not crazy.
Yeah,
he's not. He can be the Savage Hulk, and he can be Professor Hulk, and he can be the professor at Empire State University, which I love seeing Empire State University in this, by the way, as like what I know from the cartoons and the comics and everything. But I think it was important to have Hulk in there. I think it also is sort of explaining where he is in Doomsday with this psychiatric ward stuff. And I think that the tone of Punisher in this movie is obviously different than the tone in the Punisher series or even in Daredevil Born Again. But I think that the beautiful thing about the characters in the Marvel Universe is that they can fit in different scenarios. Like, Frank literally shoots Peter in this. He's trying to kill Jean, but he shoots Peter. But then you see also that Frank is like not just trying to kill everyone, and he takes Peter to the hospital, and we get that scene that's like the comic book cover of him holding the prone Spider-Man going in through the doors of the hospital. So I really enjoyed both of them in this. I thought it was really funny that Tom Holland said there are so many outtakes of John Bernthal because he kept cursing. I thought that was really funny.
Where's Odysseus? Where's Odysseus?
Yeah. I thought it was also nice to see Punisher doing something other than just like concentrating on like finding the people who like murdered his family, because that's like all I remember about him from I didn't really watch the Punisher series season 2, but
he found them.
Yeah.
He killed them.
yeah, he found them and killed them. Like that was his whole like thing was it was going to be it was going after his family, and I like that they touched on that with the but I like that they touched on that with the back of the cabinet door that had all the photos, and that he then shut it and said, "We're not talking about that right now," basically. When MJ was questioning about it, and then it showed that he like I think sees a little bit of like his son in Peter now, because he protects this kid even when he probably would rather not protect this kid. And he gets mind controlled by Jean at one point in the Department of Damage Control building, and he makes the decision he's going to kill Jean, no matter what Peter had said to him about Jean and what was going on, and the Department of Damage Control must have killed her sister and all of this stuff. He's going to kill Jean, and then he accidentally almost kills Peter instead. And I think that tells him a lot about the type of person that Peter is, and I think they did a lot of establishing the type of person that Peter is as Spider-Man through Frank's eyes, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. I did like the dialogue before we get too far. I did like the dialogue he had with Spider-Man / Peter Parker when he was talking about how he didn't make the decision to be where he's at, that he was forced into it because of what happened to him, and he's trying to give Spider-Man advice, but also letting him do his own thing. I did think tropiness of MJ telling him to go help him was a little tropey, but I was okay with it. It didn't take me out of the movie. But I did think it was a little tropey. Ferris, did you like having Punisher or Hulk in this movie, or were you upset and mad it wasn't somebody else?
No, I liked it. Like, because let's think about it, right? We're in New York City. It's Spider-Man. Of course, he bumps into Punisher. Punisher is literally in Brooklyn or in Hell's Kitchen, wherever the hell Hell's Kitchen is. Brandy, where's Hell's Kitchen?
Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah,
It's in Manhattan.
exactly. So I was right. Huh? Nice. So like, yeah, like funny enough, like if Punisher's there, Daredevil's in Hell's Kitchen, Jessica Jones is somewhere, Luke Cage is in Harlem,
Near her.
Iron Fist is also in Manhattan. So like, yeah, of course, and then of course, Spider-Man is known. Oh yeah, the guy that keeps killing everybody, even though they're all like criminals. Who is this kid? Let me not this kid. Let me investigate this man. So of course, Punisher. It makes sense with Punisher being there. I think with Hulk, I think it was kind of like they needed another scientist to bounce off sciencey stuff with each other about the inhibitor and him trying to regulate the arachnid gene with the humanoid gene. And the only scientist they have is they can't, because it's a mutation. It's a radioactive mutation, and Charles Xavier doesn't exist yet in these movies. So they go to Bruce Banner, and I think it fits perfectly. I think it's perfect all around. I also like the part where he's fighting Savage Hulk, and Savage Hulk is falling, and he's looking at Spider-Man, and he recognizes him, and he also recognizes him and Peter because he's been suppressed under Bruce, so Bruce forgot, but the Hulk didn't, because the Hulk has been suppressed.
That actually makes sense.
So
I actually didn't think about that. I thought it was just from him knowing Peter and knowing him from the school, but that's actually a good point. That's
Bruce
weird.
forgot. Yeah, so because this Hulk, the way they've set up, the way Mark Ruffalo and Bruce Banner's character is it's two different people. There's Bruce and then there's Hulk. Bruce forgot Spidey. Hulk was being suppressed. He remembers. He remembers Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and then that's when he's falling. His eyes open up, and then when he becomes Bruce, he completely forgets who the hell is Peter Parker. I just fell off of a 25-story building. What happened?
Yeah. Two things real quick. One, this is going to be one for Ferris. Although I do love the fact that he was in this movie because of the thing that they're doing with the Hulk, he's he reminds me of Bray Wyatt in wrestling because he's a big bad, or he's this big dude. He's strong. He can do a bunch of good things, but they keep putting him in matches and he loses every time. Even when it's something else that may have helped the person win over him, and it's not just them. Maybe they even cheated a little bit. The Hulk keeps getting beat, and we all know that really don't happen. The Hulk's one of the strongest, if not the strongest thing in the whole entire galaxy. Okay, but then number two, I didn't catch the part that Adelia just said at the end of the movie where they're talking about putting Bruce Banner into a psychiatric ward thing. That pisses me off more about seeing Homegirl riding off into the damn bus, because you're going to put the Hulk in there that was being mind controlled, that wasn't even completely his fault in a psychiatric ward, and you're letting the one person that was doing all the crap in a lot of cases just ride off on a bus to go see Charles Xavier. Come on now.
I don't know if they let her go, but
Yeah, I don't think
wanna-
they let her go. I think she escaped. I don't think they let her go.
Did speaking of catching, did anybody catch the question that was asked to Bruce Banner of why Thanos didn't just create double resources?
Yeah.
Hulk smash.
That was,
Did you catch who that is that asked him that?
No, who was that?
Cindy Moon.
Cindy Moon.
Who's Cindy Moon?
Silk.
Oh, I did not know. Oh, from Madam Web.
No, not Madam Web. She's not in Madam Web. But
Thank God.
but Cindy Moon, the character, thank God. Cindy Moon, the character Silk. She's another spider person. But
So where was she from? What movie or show?
No, she's in.
she shows up. She shows up in Homecoming. Cindy does. Different actress. She's also in, Ferris is saying, Spider-Man 3. I haven't seen the original Spider-Man.
No, my bad. She's been in. This is her third appearance. So she
Third
showed
appearance.
up 3 times. Yeah. I don't know.
Where's the second one? I just know
don't know.
Homecoming and this one.
Okay, hold up. I got you.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
with
But
that being
that's
said-
Cindy Moon.
With that being said, though, I have a question. And me and Adelia and Brandy was talking about this the other day. I was like, all right, so the first person she jumps into has to be within that feet, and then that person has to be next to another person on it, so on and so
Infinity
on.
War.
She's in Infinity War on the
Yeah,
bus.
she's on the bus with Peter.
So
Okay.
just like Thanos' question, which I think's legit, why didn't he just make double the resources with a snap instead of trying to take out half the people? At the same time, in this movie, I'm like, why did we have to go through all this in a certain manner? Because like she could have just slowly jumped her way through to the guy that's in charge of the damage control and literally walked into the thing and found out if her sister was alive or not.
I don't think she ever got close enough to him.
Yeah.
No. No, but this is the thing that me and Adelia and stuff we're talking about and discussing. I think that first person she jumps into has to be within the 33 feet, but
Yes.
she's in like Peter Parker's apartment at one time while controlling someone else.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yes.
so she doesn't have to be within 33 feet of every person she jumps to. That person has to be that close to someone to jump to.
I think that it becomes very apparent by the end of this movie that Jean's powers are growing throughout the course of the movie. And when she gets to the end, when she's on Roosevelt Island and they're, for lack of a better word, torturing her with the trying to force her to jump.
No, that's a perfect word. That's a perfect word.
Yeah. And her powers expand out. They expand out very far.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
and she's
But then he
holding
punishes
all
her.
those people.
I think Punisher even mentions, he goes, I think it's like one, he says, I forgot what he says, one, it wasn't 1 mile, it was something else. He used a different kind of term for my area, but
Yeah.
in my head canon, because they're like, they dealt with her sister, right? That technically has like the same abilities and they were doing all the tests. In my head canon, the damage control place in a certain part of that building has some kind of like maybe shield or something like that. You know, like Xavier can't get into Magneto because of a certain metal.
Helmet.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, maybe they've got something like that around the building because technically that could be a plot hole because it's like she technically could have just kept jumping through all the guards up until the fact that they got to the leader and then she could have just did what she needed to do.
I believe they said that she has to see the person she's jumping into. So when she's in a person, she can see as them. But if when she gets into the Department of Damage Control and they're all in that vault, she can't hop into Metzger because she can't see him.
Yeah, because they got it
He's
closed
in that
off.
vault.
It has to be like an open field kind of thing.
Yeah.
When they're in the park, her sister's just like hopping, like bang, 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 because they're in the park.
I will agree with Justin though. If she's in Peter Parker's apartment and she's jumped and now she's talking to him, and we know
there's no way she saw all those people physically that she's jumping through.
But she can see them when she's possessing them. But when she gets into the Department of Damage Control, when she's actually close enough to get to him, she can't physically see him through whoever she's possessing in that room.
Right. No, I get you in that moment. Because they're in a vault that's like closed off that they can't see. They don't even open it up until they got her under control to a certain point. I get that part at the end of the movie. I'm just talking about like from the beginning, she could have because there's no way he's just standing in that vault the whole time. He's got to go use the restroom. He's got a family and
when
stuff.
He's talking to Peter in his office.
So she could have got through that whole situation and everything and took control of him and like.
But then that would have made the movie go faster.
Not faster, slower. They needed to go slower. We needed to have more time, and it made it more difficult.
It would have been a 20-minute movie. Then Adelia would have missed the whole thing up.
Four different buildings, right? Of damage control buildings, right? So she was trying to find the right damage control building, right? Because they're not going to advertise we're damage control, well, probably like...
Yeah, she just had that one message from her sister, VMAX, and she needed to figure out where VMAX was. Yeah. Like, I don't they have obviously more than one facility, the Department of Damage Control.
Yeah.
I mean, they have facilities all over the country, I believe, because we saw that Yucca Valley one in Wonder Man and in She-Hulk. There's the one on Roosevelt Island now in New York, and there's other buildings in New York there. So I think that she maybe didn't know exactly where he was.
But with this, I'm not trying to destroy nobody's fun of the movie because I'm at an 8 and I'm gonna go watch it a second time. I might even raise my score if like I notice some other things that are like cool about the movie and stuff. This doesn't kill it for me, but I am kind of going like after it's like what Greg was saying earlier. When you sit down and kind of process what you've seen and you start thinking about it, it's like, well, she knew that one building. That's why she sent like the big tank into it to do the whole thing with Scorpion. So she knew she was going to try to get into that facility to do whatever. She should know who that guy is by now. So she could have jumped into him a different way. But it is what it is. I wouldn't like thinking about that while watching the movie. It's one of those things you think about, like,
what the hell are you talking about now? I'm confused now. Now you're confusing me.
About her being able to jump. She should have been able to jump right into that dude that leads that. And she's got to be smart, right? She didn't just like she knows who's the leader of damage control is. I'm pretty sure that's like a known thing. Yeah, but I'm saying that should be a known thing in the world.
Know who it was. She didn't know.
That guy wasn't in some top seat. Like he went home like he's a person that's just in control of something.
She found a place, but she didn't know who it was. Like she was.
Yeah, because she doesn't see them. She sees them attack her sister after they shot her with the trank or whatever. I don't think that was a trank. I think it's probably a neutralizer. She sees the cronies tackle her, and then as she's running to her sister throws herself into her and forces her to run away. So she.
But when she jumped into the old grandma though, that happened to be like a janitor or whatever, I think that's what they said she was. When she jumps into people, it's not just like, oh, I take control of you. I don't get none of your information.
It was a janitor, then a grandma.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, when she jumps into that person, she don't just jump into them. She like opens up their mind. Yeah. So the janitor knows who is the leader of damage control. Like, she literally has that information.
I don't think they would. I don't think the janitor would know.
The janitor knows everything. What are you talking about? They're like in there in the deep dark, like sweeping and mopping the floors, like when everybody else is home, and then the big leader comes out of his very important meeting. What?
No, because I was a janitor. I didn't know everybody in the place that I worked.
Yeah, but you knew who like ran the building, who was the boss.
I knew the guy, but I never saw him.
See, but you still knew the guy.
I knew his name, but I didn't know his face.
I don't know. I get what you're saying, Justin, which could be a plot hole, but real quick, everybody, if you got some, Greg, starting with you, criticisms, disagreements that you didn't care for, like Justin said, the jumping, not knowing who the director is. Did you have any? Did you think of any off the top of your head?
Yeah, I got 2. I wrote them down specifically right now.
Oh, damn!
During this talk, so I wouldn't forget. Okay, so damage control cronies did not hear Jean yell when she yelled for her sister.
Oh yeah,
like super loud. Yeah. They're just like, oh okay.
No, they
ran to him.
Yeah, no. So I think they probably did hear her yell, but then they saw her run away.
Oh, okay.
And like, because
also too,
right?
But also too, they didn't. She yells, but also too, they don't know she has powers. Because the only person they seen use powers was Sarah.
That's true. So, but my problem with that moment that Greg's bringing up is like, if you're that powerful, you could take your sister to run off and take control of her so that she doesn't get caught up in the business. Well, you could have technically just took control of all the people that were holding you down.
Or at least shot her with the train.
Again, they shot her. She was losing her power. So the last.
But how'd she able to use her power the whole time to keep her out of the situation?
Well, because if you watched it, if you actually, and I'll watch it. They shot her in the neck. She made Jean run, and when Jean came out of it, she was only a few feet away from the ice cream thing. She wasn't like across town.
So her power.
She literally when Jean woke up, the ice cream truck was right there. It was probably like a few. So I don't think that she was strong enough to get her away. But I'll agree with you if someone goes, "Hey, Ferris," and then all of a sudden you're taking off with them, and then all of a sudden I run away. They'd be like, "Grab him."
We grab him. Yeah.
But I think if you can explain that off as just simply like they saw Sarah use her powers. We don't know if this girl's using her powers. We want her.
Right.
Well, also too, they just abducted a kid in broad daylight in the park.
That's another thing.
Let's get in and get out. Like we're doing this literally. It was broad daylight in a park.
Yeah,
you just saw the government official abduct a child in broad daylight in a park. Get her in the truck and let's get out. Like, forget about that lady.
Yeah.
Let's hurry up. Let's
About it.
hurry up. dog.
Greg, what was your second one?
The whole you can't sense me now, Peter. What's going on with you? I don't. It didn't really make like it didn't. I didn't feel like Peter was sensing her. I feel like he was just looking at her and just kind of like, oh, that's the guy that's waving at me, or the guy. That's giving me a
like
weird look.
there wasn't like an aura or nothing
Yeah, there
around
wasn't
the
no,
thing
like-
that he was looking at. It was just like the person would
Well, that's
randomly look at him and
because-
smile in a weird way. Or
So
something.
I think. Oh, so what do you say?
No, go Ferris. So go ahead. But remember when he was cast as Spider-Man and they were going through a story. The spider sense wasn't really shown until Infinity War.
Mhm.
It really, where his hairs would come up and everything like that.
Spider tingle.
Then, it wasn't Spider Tingle yet. But then in No Way
That's
Home,
the joke. That's the joke show.
Yeah.
Spider tingle.
Okay. When he was talking to Tom, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he's like, "Oh, the Spider Tingle, you have it and everything like that." So yeah, so I don't think it was I think what happened was, one of his powers is the spider sense, but because it was so overloaded, he couldn't couldn't concentrate to pick that up. Because what the spider sense is to sense danger, to sense a difference in people. So that's why he was able to sense the difference in Green Goblin and No Way Home, and he could sense her.
Oh, but he didn't though.
Because no, he did.
And on Green Goblin, he said he sensed it too late.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah, but he sensed it once he changed,
Mhm.
and he was able to sense Jean when she took over somebody. But because it was like his powers were going fluctuating, he had a hard time concentrating to do it, which is why he couldn't sense her when she took over MJ. Is my explanation. I get what you're saying, Greg.
Suge, I think you're right because again, his genetic code, his emotions are out of whack, right? Because the arachnid mutation is trying to overtake the human part. That's why he has the inhibitor. He wants balance. He wants to have a balance where it's half human, it's 50-50, to keep the sense. But unfortunately, the entire movie, it's just fluctuating. It's fluctuating. He can't really, that's why.
Regulate it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when he's shooting his webs, they're going. Remember that scene where they're just going all over the place? He can't control it. Where he's flying around and he's like about to die. Then he like throws it like he's mentally unbalanced. His body's unbalanced. His chakras aren't aligned.
All right,
Shout out to the chakras.
I've got two real quick, and that's not going to be the stuff I've already talked about. Two brand new things. All right, multiple people in this story. Spider-Man's right there looking at him. Even it happens to Scorpion. They're possessed, they're controlled, whatever you want to call it, by Jean Grey. They pop out of it, and it was like, oh crap, like why am I here situation. The grandma does it. There's like multiple characters do this, and then I'm expected to be like at the end of the movie or close to the end of the movie, whenever they're sitting in the apartment hanging out together, and he's like apologizing like to MJ, like, hey, I kissed you during that time that you were taking over, and she's like, oh, I don't remember anything. He's finally like, oh wait, they can't remember anything when they're taking over. It's like, bro, you should have had that 7 times ago when everybody kept telling you, like, why am I here every time? And then the second problem I had, like I said, just sometimes nitpicky, but this one I don't think is that nitpicky. The bomb and the grandma in the tank. I've seen multiple times in comic books where Spider-Man Spider Sense realizes there's a freaking bomb timer going off. He senses it, and you're telling me he's like doesn't sense that, and then like he gets fooled. That's part of the reason why he gets fooled and taken away, and that's why Scorpion's able to escape at the beginning of the film, because of the fact that like he didn't sense a bomb counting down in the tank that he's looking in and he's that close to. Spidey should have realized there's a bomb.
Just explained it. We literally just explained it.
How he didn't know that it's bomb ticking?
He's literally
his powers were all over the place.
Yeah.
He literally just
but his power was like
about
going
it.
to eat. No, but it wasn't like his power was going to like 0, then going to normal, then going to up here. His like spider stuff was going way up here.
Whenever his spider stuff went all the way up, he couldn't focus. He couldn't handle it. He was like holding his head. His head hurt. He was overstimulated. overwhelmed by all the sensory stuff around him. So
it was a
I
sensory
think
overload thing. So, yeah.
sensory overload. It's like I recognize that because I have sensory processing disorder and I get like that sometimes. Not like because of a spider bite, but just because of like how my
God, tell you,
senses
Spider-Woman.
actually work. No, I'm not.
I believe
no,
it.
I'm not. I have a criticism.
Sure, Adela, go ahead.
Why is the hand in this movie working for the damage control?
Yeah.
Well, they did. Well, they explained it. They did explain it. So he captures the
It
hand.
makes no sense.
They made it
Yeah.
sound like they made them sound like their foot from like
Oh, yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
No,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
is it a
Exactly,
great
Greg.
explanation?
It's
Is
not
it
a great explanation.
No, but they
There
explained
could
it.
have
They caught
been.
him.
I understand they
have to
did
eat.
offer an
They gotta
explanation.
poop.
It's stupid. I think they should have used somebody other than the hand as that group. They could have made it a group of mercenaries or whatever working for Metzger. I don't think it should have been the hand.
The fight scene
all.
looked really cool.
Yeah, it
they
was
did a
cool.
It looked really
thing.
cool.
The fight was great.
Yeah.
But it didn't make
you're
sense,
right.
yes.
I'm glad Adelia brought that up because
Yeah,
I'm
it
like, when they first came into the movie, I'm like, I get what he's saying, but like, they got to go to McDonald's every now and then to grab some food. Like, do they send who is watching them?
No, because here's the thing,
Like,
right? 'Cause
They're
here's the thing, right?
evil.
His explanation, the reason it kind of didn't make
Why are they
sense,
dressed
was
like that?
he said, "Oh yeah, we caught them and then we made them work for us." But like, you can't make the hand work for you. That's not how they operate. Can you? Because
No comment.
when I saw, okay, all
Bro,
right.
Suge, bro.
It's not-
I was
it's
thinking
not-
the same
Why?
thing. but I kept quiet.
Why?
I said
saying,
that.
but I
No,
kept
the
quiet.
hand. I don't know the hand in the comic book is what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Ferris. Keep going.
No, because in Daredevil, like they're like it's like religiously connected to like some spirit, like what they did in Daredevil, where like they're trying to like resurrect some evil spirit, right? Like that's what the hand is. They're not some government like special unit. Like that's not how that works. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, I did
like-
not. I did not buy that explanation at all.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
They go from like kind of like, cosmic religious fanatics to, just me and Jerry, we clocked into our, I was in the weapons depot with Johnny. Johnny got married, guys. Like, well, thank you. Hand number one.
So my two criticisms is first off that popcorn bucket. I'm not paying $40 for that freaking thing. That was dumb. Really pissed me off.
I like it.
I got a blanket too and a cup. So
Oh well, whoop-de-doo
Spider
for you
bone.
guys. My other one was not seeing Tombstone. You cast that great actor who and you have him in there for 2 seconds. Like he better be in the next. He better be in another Spider-Man movie because just having him in there for 2 seconds was ridiculous. Outside of that, I did like everything, and I do see where you guys are coming from with some of your disagreements and criticisms. Some of them can be explained, yeah. Some of them can't. So totally understand. All right, we're gonna move into just once again, just going around the horn, just giving our overall thoughts, ending thoughts of the movie. Oh, before that, end credit scene. What did you guys think about that?
Oh,
How do
my
you
God.
interpret that?
Bro, that was a waste. I sat there for 15
I
goddamn minutes.
I don't think that's a waste. I think it's a Doomsday tease. I think Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield's in Doomsday.
Yeah,
Whichever
well,
one of
what
them
I'm
it
saying,
is.
right? I agree with that part. Like the actual meaning could be kind of cool, but I mean, come on, like I could have got the same like information and everything just by like hearing you say it just then. Because like it's literally just a little screen, like it's nothing cool. It's just a little screen thing shows that Spider-Man might be in outer space,
And,
which obviously can't work for the stupid app because the app works by people.
I was gonna
seeing
say-
Spider-Man.
I was gonna
who
say
saw Spider-Man
that.
in space? Who saw him and reported to the app? Okay.
I actually saw an explanation for that I thought was interesting, which is there is a Ned in that universe where the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is, who has built a Spidey tracking app that now that the Earths are close enough to each other, they connected and it said on Ned's app that the Spider-Man was spotted in the Earth that is the other Spider-Man.
But yeah, let's be real. This isn't like a cool like end of one of the
No,
earlier
agree.
Marvel.
Agree.
Yeah, end of one of the earlier Marvel movies where it's like Thanos sitting there talking about I may have to do this on my own
But
kind
I
of
don't
situation.
think they were ever going to do something like that at the end of a Spider-Man movie. They weren't going to put like Doctor Doom in this
Well, the problem I heard,
post-credit scene or anything.
this may not be like all true, but I thought I saw some things where technically this Spider-Man was supposed to come out after Doomsday. So they ended up having to make some changes because then they released it before Doomsday. But this movie was Doomsday was scheduled to release before this movie was scheduled to
Yeah,
release.
Doomsday was supposed to come out in May, and this was supposed to
No,
come
you-
out now. But
Yeah,
I
you're
think
both
this
wrong.
movie was always set before Doomsday.
Well, you're both wrong because Adelia would know this. Doomsday was never supposed to happen. It's supposed to be King's Dynasty was supposed to
That's
come out
true
before
as well.
Spider-Man.
But
That's the thing.
But the release date for the movie that is now Doomsday was supposed to come out before this movie. But I do think that was an interesting post-credit scene for me because usually on the Sony Spider-Man movies, not the MCU movies that Spider-Man is in, but the Sony Spider-Man movies that are part of the MCU, the post-credit scene has been something that's tied into the larger Sony Spider-Verse. We had Eddie Brock in the one post-credit scene. We've had a bunch of ones that relate to upcoming Sony Spider-Verse projects. We don't have any of those right now because there are none. So it's tied into Doomsday. This was an easy way for them to do this without having to have the actors on set for it. They could just hire some animators to animate the app, get Jacob Batalon. Maybe he ran those lines earlier in the ADR stuff or whatever, and make this post-credit scene. They kept it a complete secret. It teases something for potentially Doomsday, and I think it works.
Wait, so you're telling me the app is tracking Spider-Man in a different universe or a different timeline?
No.
Or a universe or whatever?
I think that the app's supposed to be a sighting thing, so it's not actually tracking him. It's where did you see
We saw
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. I saw
And
Spider-Man
then,
on.
so like I don't know if you have GPS on your phone. Like on my GPS, if I'm driving, all of a sudden I'll get there's cops ahead of you because somebody reported it, or there's an accident ahead of you.
Mhm.
So that's what it is. Someone reports it. So it's
You're welcome.
if I remember correctly, it says Spider-Man location located, unknown location. Then it scans all the way into the, and then it actually distorts. It does this distort thing, and then it goes new location found, and it showed, and it's in the middle of space.
Distorts.
Oh, so I was thinking right away. I just started Secret Wars, like that he got transported to a new world.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that meant that
Yeah,
too.
it could be that because Adelia brought up it could be Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, or it could be Tom Holland. Spider-Man was sleeping one day, then boom, vanish. You're on another planet. You know what I mean? It could be like that too. So we don't know which Spider-Man's gonna come out. We don't know.
Brandon and Hambone already gave their ratings, but we'll get back to them real quick. Adelia, give us your final thoughts and ratings of Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I'm not going to give a rating on the movie because I've only seen like 75% of it. But I really enjoyed the 75% of it that I saw. I'm looking forward to probably not getting back out to the theater, but when it hits streaming, actually getting to watch the movie from beginning to end and seeing what the first like half an hour of this movie is. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will give it a rating after I've seen the whole thing.
Awesome. Ferris,
9.
any final thoughts on the movie?
Oh, I loved it. Big fan. I really enjoy it. I'm not really a big the Easter egg, dive deep into these movies type things because I'm like, the movie's gonna happen, and I'm not trying to create some, theory on, that may not come true, right? But like, I got kind of excited. Like I know, she was driving away, right, in the bus. And there's this overlight shot of these great trees, and it looks like upstate New York. And what's in upstate New York? A certain mansion is in upstate New York.
Remember this though, Ferris wasn't even alive when the first X-Men movies came out.
Yes, he was.
I was.
Yes, he was.
Wait, was it not? I thought it was late '90s. Is it like?
2000.
No, it came out 2000.
I was 2.
Okay.
First X-Men was 2000.
I was.
You were
So, yeah, Ferris was 2 years old. He didn't even know what the
I,
X-Men were.
yeah. So I remember, like there's a scene where where Wolverine is with Rogue and they're driving, and it's like the same trees or covering,
Yep.
the mansion. So I saw the exact same tree, and she's driving up, and I'm like, oh, where is she going? Where is she going? So I got kind of excited, and I'm happy. Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters. The man's a force. Love the character. Tom Holland is my number one Spider-Man. Love it all around. 9 across the board.
You heard it here first. Greg, overall thoughts, final thoughts, and rating.
Yeah, 9 for me. It once again, through comic books, I learned lessons and things that I needed to hear at the time, and it was not. And this is the movie that I needed to experience, and it was a good experience. I enjoyed all the hidden characters. We even talk about Florence Pugh as Black Widow in this, which was I thought it was a good.
Yes, I feel a lot of people are upset about that. I don't understand why they're upset.
I
About
wasn't
that.
really
I
care for
missed
the
like
character. She
all
didn't
of
have to be
this
there.
except for the part of her on the screen at the
Oh.
end.
Sorry, Dillian.
Yeah,
Spoiler.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I did forget. I did forget about that.
A lot of people didn't like that because they're like, "Why is she doing this?" But if you really think about it, she's having meetings and she makes you strip down so you can't hide no weapons because
Yeah.
she's a So
I
she's
don't care about that, but it's just like,
yeah.
why is she even in the movie? He doesn't need her in this movie. The
But
other
again,
characters I can see,
Justin, again, like Frank, the new Avengers are in New York. They're at Avengers Tower, so of course he knows
I
her.
liked her. I thought she was funny.
I think it
Yeah.
works. I think it works.
And he was like, "Wait, that really is your office." He didn't believe that it was her
And
real
they do make canon that they call her the new Black Widow.
Yep.
That is canon.
Yeah.
Greg, my
Yeah.
apologies. Continue.
Nah, other than that, it was a good movie. Taught me a lot of things that I needed to hear. Great all around experience. Can't wait to watch it again. That's a sign that's really good for me because I have rewatchability. So I can't wait to watch it again, and I had a good time.
Awesome. Brandon and Justin, want to just give your scores again, real quick?
Go Brandy first.
It's an 8 for me. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, no, I'm not high. I'm not a 9. I'm an 8. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but there's room to be better.
Listen, I'm at the 8, maybe 7.5 range. Good. It's a good, solid movie that I have fun with. I'm wanting to go see it, obviously, again. I'm going to go see it again in theaters, but I'm probably going to let a couple of weeks go by because, I'm going to tell you right now, these theaters are swamped. That and the Odyssey going on at the same time right now, bro. You can't even walk around the theater without touching people right now. That's how many people's out there.
Well, you
Which is great
shouldn't
for
be
the
walking
movie
around the
theaters.
theater touching
It-
people.
Can we
Yeah,
talk
I'm
about
saying that's
box
the point.
office real quick for this?
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean,
Amelia. I know-
$927 million worldwide this weekend.
Yeah, so it almost made $1 billion in one weekend. So and you
Yeah.
also had the Odyssey still
It
kicking
came
ass.
within $2 million of the Endgame domestic opening weekend record.
And I think this actually might can have longer legs on it. And when I say that, I like maybe even surpassing Endgame because people did have legit problems with Endgame and like even after they saw it like the first time, and so you might have more people like me that's going to go see it in the movie theaters like multiple times and maybe even more than just 2 or 3 times. So that part's really good, but I got to stop because me and Greg's like in 15 minutes has got to start our other show talking about a good show, House of the Dragon. Like,
Look at
this
that!
is like-
Look at
I
that
got
cross
food
promotion
sitting
right
on the
there.
oven right now still.
One of the
You're
final
right.
2
If you look
episodes
at-
left.
Look at that cross promotion.
Who
Look
had,
at
who had problems with the
That's
Endgame?
great.
Yeah,
What? There was people that
What?
didn't like some of the things in Endgame.
Yeah, but
people
people are
like-
visible.
Yeah, most of the people that I see are like Infinity War lovers and then think Endgame kind of wasn't all that great and had issues, like a rat stepping on a button randomly that saves the whole world, basically.
Well, I thoroughly disagree with that. So
handball on your left.
Keep disappearing.
So-
Yeah.
So, if you'd like to check out more of our Marvel talk, our Marvel Rewatchers Council, that will be coming back soon. We are doing some recordings with me and Adelia and possibly me and Ferris. Make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button. Also, to let us know in the comments what you want to see us review, talk about. We are doing trailer reactions. We are doing reviews. We're obviously going to be doing Doomsday stuff and anything else that you guys want us to review, talk about. Like Justin said, today got House of the Dragons. Later tonight, we have Rewatchers Council with Buffy and the MCU. If you want us to do more, let us know. We will try to do it. We have a lot coming up. Football season's on its way. We are going to be busy with that. Soccer season just ended, and then Adelia tells me soccer season starts up again. I'm over soccer now.
There is
I'm
no
not.
end to soccer season.
So check out our sister channel, Good Friends, Better Rivals, where Ferris does a show. I do a show. We got a bunch of shows over there on this channel. We appreciate everybody that likes the channel. We've been doing great. We have super chats enabled, so when we're live, come hang out with us. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you thought of the movie, what your rating is, if you agree, if you disagree. We want to engage with you guys, so make sure to do all that stuff. Really appreciate everybody who was here tonight. Greg, Brandy, Justin, Ferris, Adelia. For myself, thank you very much for watching. We hope you have a great time at the movies. Enjoy the movies. Love them, hate them.
The movies.
But have good conversation. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you all later.